Last week, the United States Supreme Court told New York, specifically Governor Cuomo, that you cannot keep churches shut down, that you can't stop in-person church attendance and then have big box stores open and places like that, because churches and religious exercises specifically protected by the U.S. Constitution. Businesses aren't. So you can't treat them differently. In fact, they have to be treated to a higher level of scrutiny under the Constitution with those protections. Well, now the court has come back and said, Governor Newsom, you've got to do the same thing. Stop your shutdown of churches in California. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the nation? Because you may live in a state where in-person attendance is still very, very limited, or there's no in-person attendance at church allowed at all. So you can't go even if you'd like to go and you make the decision to go and your church wants to open its doors. The church in Illinois is only allowed to have 10 people attend their religious services, but can have 100 people at the soup kitchen they operate under the COVID restrictions. Now, it's great that they're operating that soup kitchen and serving 100 people at a time. That's wonderful. But why can't that same facility at least host 100 worshipers or more, depending on what room it's being held in? The Supreme Court in this second case involving California came out, it was just a half a page. We'll put it up on the screen right now for you. And it basically said, follow what we said in New York. So they're not looking at it so much state by state. Instead, they're looking at it nationwide. Why? Because the free exercise of religion is a nationwide protection in the U.S. Constitution. Why did this shift happen? Because you may remember the Supreme Court went a different way just a few months ago. Judge Amy Coney Barrett is now Justice Amy Coney Barrett. And she has sided with the 4 other conservatives. So the Chief Justice is now siding with the liberals. They're 5-4. They're close decisions. But this will set a precedent nationwide that these governors cannot keep our churches and our houses of worship shut down during this pandemic, and they cannot treat them like everything else. They should be treated differently, as the Constitution specifically says that free exercise right away in the First Amendment. We want you to take action. 1, let us know. If you are in a state with these restrictions and you go to a church that wants to reopen, it's to do that, the Supreme Court's got to have a case. They've got to have somebody represent. So you can go to aclj.org/help. Make sure it's your church that asks for our assistance if you have these kind of restrictions in your state. But second, it shouldn't matter where you live. We should all stand together and stop these bans on singing and stop these bans on attending church and let people make up their own mind. Let the churches make the best decisions for their communities. We've got a petition up. Over 300,000 of you have already signed. We want you to sign it today at aclj.org. Stop the ban on singing. Stop the ban on in-person church attendance. Let the churches and the parishioners make their own decision and what's best for them. We are winning in court. We are winning on this issue for religious liberty. Sign the petition at aclj.org.